Hello, how you doing? This is Vince Hughes with Steel Estimating Solutions. Today I put this video together to show you a new product I put out called the Metal Building Bid Wizard. So let's just jump right in there and show you what I got. First, before we get started, I want to point out there's on this video you're watching, in case you don't know, right at the bottom right hand corner you'll see these different little icons. If you click on this one right here, it'll throw it into full screen, and that'll allow you to watch this video a little bit more clear. You can kind of see what's going on a little better. Just wanted to show you that in case you didn't know it. So here we are. Let me show you what we got here with the Metal Building Bid Wizard. Just jump right in there. Right here you'll see this yellow cell. That's where you're going to enter in your quantities, your takeoff. And the green color cells, there's a formula, so you don't enter there. Right here we have wage information. Of course, your foreman, ironworker, apprentices. You have two different rates: a private rate, scale rate. You can name that whatever you want. You can change it to whatever suits you. But basically, you're going to put in your wages you're paying your foreman, your ironworker, and your apprentices, and the program is going to do an average of all of them. Of course, if you're just paying them all the same rate, you'd plug in the same rate all the way, and that'd be the rate you're running with. Right here we have a place where you can put in the customer name, job name, date, and revision. Right here, if there's revisions on the project. Right here is the project size information. You have a building A, B, and C. It's where you're going to enter in the pitch of the project, width, length, height, and square foot. So I'm just going to do that real quick. We'll say this is a 212. And I apologize about these little things popping up. I couldn't figure out how to get it to turn off, but so that'll be kind of annoying throughout. But let's see, it's 150 wide. Let's go 225 length, and then this would be your eave height. Put in 15 foot. And once you put in these calculations, you see it calculates it up, and then right here is going to be your, it's going to show you the peak height of the project. That way, size and equipment, price and equipment, you're going to have that, calculated right away. Let's go ahead and throw in another one, say 412. Let's go 175. 260. And let's say this peak height is 18 foot. And once again, you see the eave height, I'm sorry, is 18 foot. You'll see the peak height right here calculated for you. This little box right here, scale wage. Of course, if you're going to put in yes, it's going to pull the number from the scale rate. If you put in no, it's going to pull in the private rate. And then this is just kind of a knowledge box. Is equipment allowed on pad or not? So just a yes or no, just for your own information. And I want to say that the way the Metal Building Bid Wizard is set up right now, it is, built for erecting and putting wall and roof panels of, a R-type panel. I'll get into that a little bit more, but you can switch this up to do insulated wall panels. Whether you're doing a Butler building, a Chief building, American building, everybody's all a little bit different, but you'll be able to take this program and build it around exactly, what you're doing. Also want to point out right here's the labor rate. When you get it, the labor rates will be exposed, but right now for the video, I've got them hidden. But basically these labor rates are, from years of our experience. Time and what it takes professional crew of iron workers to do these select tasks. And of course, these are going to be editable, where if you think it's too much time for a task, you can lower it. If you think it's not enough time, you can raise it. So basically, this program can be built exactly to what you and your company is performing out in the field. So right here, it's going to pull this out. This right here is going to be, once again, erecting and sheeting the walls and putting down the roof. Pulls in your rake trim, your gutter and downspouts, your insulation on the roof, It does not do insulation on the wall, of course, because you have the different pitches. So that's going to be a takeoff you will have to do. You'll have to plug in here what the wall insulation is in the project. Right here, I'm just going to say 35,000 square feet for these two buildings. You have a place, if you got 2 layers of insulation, you plug that in, be an extra. Same thing if you had 2 layers on the wall, you'd plug that in. We have a standing seam. If you have standing seam on the project, that's going to be a bump up. You'd put that in. Liner panels up to 8 foot. Liner panels 8 to 18 foot. Liner panels 8 to 30 foot. 18 to 30 foot. Concealed fastener wall extra. Soffit single sheet and trim. Walk doors. Let's say we've got, let's say 20 of those. Openings. Oops. Say we got 30. Curves 30. You got ridge vents, ridge trim, and then I've put in a bunch of others. And of course it says make sure to change labor rate to a flex task. So you just adjust that labor rate to whatever task that you decide that you need to put in for whatever project you're working in. And of course you want to pair it up with a linear foot count or square foot. So once you put in these tasks, it tallies up the man hours it takes for each one of the tasks, and then puts a price. But we'll get to that in a minute. Right here, subsistence. Some people call it per diem. We call it subsistence. Of course, the guy's you're paying for his hotel or per day type of per diem or subsistence. You just enter that in. We'll say $6 for this. Here you put your crew size, how many hours per day, either 8 or 10, days per week, 4 or 5, whatever it be, and you'll see where you got your total number of days and you got your total number of weeks for this project. Extra days, you can plug those in, pad a little bit. You have that option to plug it in, throw in a few extra days or not. The next section here is general conditions, your consumables. Of course, you can adjust the rates to whatever they are for you. Welding machines, and then you have a couple other spots for general conditions. This section is workman's comp, general liability, tax burden, fringes, and sub. Of course, your sub is pulled down from here, puts into there. Fringes, if you have them, you put them. If you don't, you leave that zeroed out. Workman's comp, average tax burden, and general liability, you're going to calculate an hourly rate for that. And then you have a place for overtime. Put in your man hours and what that cost, what your hourly cost is for that overtime. Now this section here is equipment monthly. Got your scissor lifts, rough terrain lifts, booms, forklifts, and let's scroll up here again and see what that height was of the tallest building. It was 47 foot. So probably put in 3 32-footers. We're going to have 2 60s. And then we'll go ahead and throw in 3 scissor lifts. So that calculates up for you. I need a forklift. I'll put in 1 forklift. And then you got some, for other equipment, hourly or monthly type equipment. You got 3, some places to plug in some monthly equipment. Then your cranes, different size cranes. Of course, you can click on, if you have an 80-ton, not a 60-ton, you just click and, change that. So we're going to put in 40 tons. And then once again, if you've got the project, you're having 3 cranes, it takes a couple cranes to hang the rafters, and you got a fill-in crane. Of course, you're going to put that accordingly. But let's just put in 1 crane here. We were, how many weeks were we? 28 weeks. Yeah, so we'll plug in. Of course, you have to figure out what your crane time would be and plug it in. As far as hours go, let's just put in 120. Let's do 140. And once again, You got some other spots you can put in some other hourly rate type equipment. And then right here, freight for equipment, that's per piece, and that's row 67 to 83. So basically all your equipment, if you're renting it, rental company's charging you an in and out fee. You're going to plug that in, and that's going to tally up 9, whatever that rental rate company is charging you to move in and out. You'd plug that in. And speaking of move in and out, right here is where you'd plug in for your crane. If you got to move it, move the crane in and out, you'd plug in that cost right there. Fuel for equipment, it's going to pull in the total days, and of course you're going to figure out what your average fuel consumption is, and in a given day, you'd plug that number in, and then you'd have it right there. Let's go up here. Okay. So of course right here, this is your base rate without any markup, profit and overhead. And here's your labor row. Right here you can mark up the profit and overhead right here. You can put in 35%. And once you do that, you'll see it changes all those to 35. Whatever your markup is, overhead and profit, you're going to plug that in. That's where you're going to get your markup. And you have it there for labor. You have another section for for general conditions, equipment, rental equipment. Each one is separate, so you can, it can plug in a markup on each one of those. And once you get all that, get your markup put in, it's going to come down. You're going to have an actual cost and then a selling cost as well. Right here, you're going to see what your profit and overhead should be on this project, as well as a square footage of what it's going to take to do the project. Right here is an average markup. So basically what that's saying is you got a markup of 14% on this project right now. Of course, that's going to go up or down based on what you put in here for your percentages for each, for your equipment, man hours, labors. Go up, of course, this right here is going to go up. If you go down, it's going to go down. And so we got that there. One thing I do want to point out is as your crew size, if you change this to 8 men, you'll see the weeks going down, and you'll see the price going down. If you change that to 10 hours, and you put in working 4 10s, all that changes everything. So it's kind of cool to have, if you had a project, they want to get it done, how quick, you can come in and plug in, you put in a crew size of 10, working 4 10s, get done 68 days. You wanted to jump it up just for the fun of it, 15 men, now we're down to 11 weeks. So that, you can kind of just adjust your price. It kind of gives you a timeline or two of how long it's going to take you to do the project by your crew size. So now that we had everything plugged in, we'll come right here to task summary. Of course, the task summary is going to total up your man hours, crane hours, total days, cost per square foot, showing your crew size, and then of course breaking out all the costs right there. As well as it's going to throw you a summary of what task you have in that project, showing the man hours for each one, quantities of what you have, and then a price associated to each one of those tasks. Then we got a bid proposal sheet where, of course, you can customize it, put your logo in, all your information, put in your standard language, your standard exclusions, and then I want to note that the cost of the project pulls over and puts it right there. Then we have on the very bottom here, of course, that tab was our takeoff right now, of what we just did. Then you have another clean tab, which I'm calling alternate 1, that if you had an alternate, you can use this sheet to plug it in, and once again an alternate 2. And then let me come back to here. I touched on it at the very beginning. The metal building bid wizard is built around our panel type project, but I just want you to know it's very simple to come in, change the labor rates, and make it for insulated wall panels, insulated roof panels. You can make it towards a Butler building, American building, whatever it may be. So once you purchase the program, you can create several of these sheets, name them, Butler, Master R panel, Master insulated wall panels, so on and so forth. So, basically it comes down to, it's more than just this one program. You could create it into as many programs you wanted, and, customize it to exactly what you're doing, and, the speed that you guys are getting projects done with. But you're going to have a program that's going to make your life a whole lot simpler, quicker, and in today's world, it surely don't hurt to make things a little bit easier on you. And I think this program will do that for you. I truly hope you can see the value in it. And, we'll take a hard look at trying this out for your company. And wanted to point out too, I'm not sure if you have seen it, but I have another program called the Steel Erection Bid Wizard that is Steel Erection specific, for estimating. A very, very detailed program. Right now got 65 erectors using it, and not getting any complaints, getting a lot of good testimonies from it. But right below this video, you'll see a link that goes to the Steel Erection Bid Wizard, as well as a link for the Metal Building Bid Wizard. I do appreciate your time. Like I say, I hope you do see the value in it, and I wish you the best out there. Take care.